Breaking news. And when I say breaking, I mean the internet is about to snap in half because the tea is hotter than lava, messier than a reality show reunion, and pettier than your ex still liking your cousin's pictures. Y'all, what if I told you that the love story people used to brag about, the so-called ride or die hip-hop couple, just got hit with the biggest plot twist since Maury said, "You are not the father"? Remy Ma, yes, the same Remy who built her brand on being tough, loyal, and untouchable, is allegedly breaking down in private after Lil Scrappy, of all people, dropped a nuclear bomb on her marriage. And the bomb? Papoose allegedly has a secret child with none other than world champion boxer Claressa Shields. I mean, come on. If this isn't giving Lifetime movie written by Zeus Network producers, I don't know what is. But ask yourself, is this really about love, loyalty, and betrayal? Or is it about pride, power, and the fact that no one, not even Remy Ma, can stand to lose? Did Papoose finally flip the script after years of humiliation? Did Lil Scrappy just expose the biggest secret in hip-hop history? Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal will make you question everything you thought you knew about these two. Let's start from the beginning, because if we do not peel back the layers of this mess step by step, it will be impossible to understand how one of hip-hop's most admired love stories has turned into a headline circus that feels more like a scripted reality show than real life. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were put on a pedestal as the definition of loyalty in an industry where relationships rarely survive. They sold us the image of the ride or die couple who could withstand anything: prison time, long separations, temptation, and industry politics. Fans held them up as proof that real love still exists in the rap game. But what nobody knew was that behind the stage smiles and the Instagram posts with matching outfits, there was a storm brewing that would eventually swallow them whole. The cracks first began to show when whispers about Remy and battle rapper Easy the Block Captain began circulating. At first, people brushed it off as just another rumor, but the evidence grew too strong to ignore. They were seen together in public, settings looking way too comfortable for just business partners, and soon blogs were reporting that the professional relationship between them was covering up a personal one. Papoose kept quiet, choosing dignity over drama, but silence does not mean blindness, and he was surely taking notes. When talk of Remy being involved in a polyamorous situation with yet another rapper surfaced, the internet exploded with memes and hot takes, but once again, Papoose did not lash out. Instead, he stayed calm, which only fueled the narrative that he was the loyal husband suffering quietly while his wife was out enjoying herself. That image gained him sympathy, but at the same time, it left Remy wide open to criticism because the Yare public saw her as the one breaking the sacred vows of marriage. What nobody expected was that Papoose might have had his own secrets tucked away ready to surface when the time was right. The bombshell came courtesy of Lil Scrappy, who casually inserted himself into the drama and claimed that Papoose was hiding something far bigger than anyone imagined. According to Scrappy, there was not only a relationship between Papoose and world champion boxer Claressa Shields, but also an alleged secret child. Think about that for a second. The man praised for standing by Remy during her darkest times, the man who became a meme for being the blueprint of loyalty, might have fathered a child outside the marriage with one of the most powerful women in sports. If this is true, then the fairy tale completely shatters and turns into a story of revenge, betrayal, and pride. Social media immediately caught fire, with fans split between disbelief and mockery. Some joked that while Remy cheated down with a battle, rapper Papoose cheated up with a world champion and called it the ultimate clapback. Others said the whole thing proved there are no faithful couples in hip-hop, and loyalty is nothing more than a brand strategy. Anonymous sources began to crawl out of the woodwork, saying Remy had known for months about Papoose and Claressa, and that the arguments inside their home were brutal, with neighbors overhearing shouting matches about disrespect and betrayal. One source claimed Remy was furious because she thought she controlled the narrative and never imagined Papoose would flip the script on her. What makes it even wilder is the timing. Remember last Christmas when Papoose posted about being home with his daughter while Remy was spotted in cozy holiday pictures with Easy? Fans thought Papoose was just shading Remy, but what if those cryptic captions were his way of distracting attention from his own hidden situation? Suddenly, the perfect husband image does not look so perfect anymore, and the whole marriage looks like a chess game where both players are making dangerous moves just to checkmate each other in front of the world. The story only grew darker once whispers turned into louder claims and people online started piecing together timelines that seemed too suspicious to ignore, Because if there really is a child involved, then this is not just a matter of messy relationships. It becomes the kind of scandal that defines careers and ruins reputations forever. And what makes it more intense is the way Lil Scrappy dropped the claim so casually, like it was common knowledge in Atlanta circles, and suddenly everyone wanted to know what really went on between Papoose and Claressa Shields. Because this is not some random social media influencer we are talking about. This is a decorated champion known across the world for her power, discipline, and grit, and to imagine her caught up in this mess added a level of shock nobody was ready for, and fans instantly started debating whether she would even risk her image for a man tied to so much public drama. But the alleged screenshots circulating painted a picture of late-night calls, secret meetings, and emotional messages that could not be ignored. And while none of it has been officially confirmed, the internet does not care about proof when the drama is this juicy. Comment sections exploded with fans accusing Remy of hypocrisy because she had been living freely for months, making appearances with Easy the Block captain, smiling in photos, and pushing him into the spotlight while at the same time trying to paint Papoose as bitter for moving on. And suddenly people were saying, maybe Remy underestimated Papoose. Maybe she thought he would always play the quiet, loyal role while she took center stage. But if these rumors are true, he may have been plotting his own escape route for a long time, and Claressa just happened to be part of the plan. Some anonymous voices online claimed money was also a factor, with Remy allegedly worried that if a child is proven to be real, it could impact financial settlements and shake up her image as the boss who always has control, and others went further, hinting that industry insiders knew Papoose was done with Remy months ago, but stayed quiet because of the respect he still carried in the hip-hop community. Meanwhile, Claressa herself has not backed down from speaking her mind on social platforms, where she clapped back at Remy with sharp words about hypocrisy and double standards, and her tone suggested that she had nothing to fear from Remy's attempts at dragging her name. This only added fuel to the fire because fans started saying if Claressa really had nothing to hide, why would she come out swinging so hard, and why does she sound so confident that Remy cannot touch her? The mess grew deeper when speculation about money trails started surfacing, with bloggers claiming Papoose had quietly been investing in Claressa's training camps and business moves, which in their eyes was proof that his loyalty had shifted long before the public caught on. Whether true or not, the idea of Papoose funding Claressa while Remy was allegedly funding Easy sent fans into overdrive, with jokes about both of them turning their marriage into a sponsorship competition instead of a partnership. And through all of this, the silence from Papoose spoke louder than words. Because when a man who has built his image on calm loyalty suddenly refuses to deny or confirm anything, people assume the silence is admission, and Remy's frustration seemed to double as her posts grew more pointed, almost like she was trying to push him into reacting publicly. But every time she threw shade, the internet turned it back on her, saying she started the game, and now she could not handle being played better. The debate raged across platforms, with some insisting Papoose could never betray his wife like that, while others swore this was the ultimate revenge of a man who had been humiliated one too many times. And whichever side you believed, one thing was clear: the fairy tale had cracked beyond repair. As the fallout spiraled further, the entire situation turned into a circus of accusations, counterattacks, and wild theories, with fans, commentators, and even other celebrities weighing in on what was quickly becoming one of the messiest scandals hip-hop had seen in years, because now it was no longer just about who cheated on who, but about power, pride, and public. Humiliation, and each side seemed determined to prove they held the upper hand, no matter how ugly it got. And this is where the whispers of legal trouble started to creep into the narrative, with some bloggers claiming divorce papers had already been filed, while others insisted Remy was refusing to sign anything because she feared losing not only financial assets, but also the ability to control the story in the media. And anonymous insiders hinted that lawyers were preparing for a nasty battle that could expose even more secrets about the couple's finances, infidelities, and business deals, which only fueled the speculation that this was just the tip of the iceberg, and more explosive revelations were waiting to come out. At the same time, rumors swirled about possible DNA testing and custody battles if the alleged child with Claressa Shields turned out to be real. And although no official documents have surfaced, fans are convinced there is smoke behind this fire, pointing to Claressa's bold responses online as evidence that she has nothing to lose and everything to gain by calling out Remy's hypocrisy. And this only made the public more invested, because people love watching a narrative flip on its head, especially when the person who was once praised as the victim begins to look like the villain. Social media did what it does best by turning the saga into entertainment. with endless memes, comparisons to soap operas, and even mock casting calls for who should play each person in a Netflix series, with one viral post joking that Remy would be played by Taraji P. Henson, while Papoose would be portrayed by Idris Elba, and Claressa Shields would naturally play herself, since nobody else could capture her knockout energy. And while fans laughed, the underlying tension was undeniable, because beneath the jokes were real conversations about double standards in relationships and how women and men are judged differently when it comes to infidelity. Critics pointed out that when Remy was allegedly stepping out with Easy, she was defended by some fans as a woman taking control of her happiness. But the second Papoose was accused of moving on with someone else, the narrative flipped into labeling him toxic, which only added fuel to the claims made by Kirk Frost and Lil Scrappy about Remy trying to play the innocent card when she was just as guilty, if not more. The longer this dragged on, the more Remy's reputation took hits because every attempt to expose Papoose ended up backfiring, with people calling her bitter jealous and unable to accept that her husband might have found someone better, while Papoose, by saying little and allowing others to speak for him, maintained an aura of quiet strength that kept fans rooting for him. The tension escalated when reports surfaced that industry executives were nervous about working with Remy due to the drama overshadowing her professional moves, and sponsors were allegedly considering pulling back from projects tied to her name, which, if true, could have major financial consequences and show how personal scandals can bleed into business in ways that change careers overnight. Meanwhile, speculation grew that Claressa Shields was unfazed by the backlash because she thrives on controversy and understands the media game better than most given her career in sports, and her knack for commanding attention and this confidence only made Remy look weaker every time she tried to drag Claressa into the mud. By this point, fans were demanding answers, with hashtags trending about the alleged secret child and debates raging about who really betrayed who first, and whether this entire situation was proof that loyalty is nothing more than a myth in the entertainment industry. And as the noise grew louder, one thing became undeniable. The love story that once inspired people had crumbled into a cautionary tale of pride, ego, and betrayal, where both sides were more interested in saving face than saving the marriage. And if there really is a child involved, then the drama is only beginning, because courtrooms do not play by the same rules as Instagram, and once lawyers step in, the truth has a way of coming out no matter how messy it gets. So here we are, standing at the edge of what might be one of the biggest plot twists hip-hop has ever seen. And the question is not just whether Remy Ma and Papoose can ever recover from this mess, but what it means for the culture as a whole, because when the so-called blueprint couple for loyalty starts crumbling, it forces everyone to ask if any of these public love stories are even real, or if they are just carefully packaged illusions meant to sell us hope. Do you believe Papoose really has a secret child with Claressa Shields, or do you think this is all smoke and mirrors designed to drag him down while Remy tries to cling to the narrative? Should Remy own up to her own mistakes before pointing fingers, or has Papoose secretly been playing the long game, waiting for the right moment to reveal who he really is? I want to hear your thoughts, so drop your opinions in the comments and do not hold back, because your take might be the one that flips this entire conversation. And if you want more raw, unfiltered breakdowns of the scandals, they do not want you. To know about, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications, because trust me, the next bombshell is already on its way.